Welcome to the VIP MasterClass series. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is dedicated to Nigel, and he asked how we could get faster and cleaner when doing arpeggios. A couple of different examples come to mind. One of the notorious ones is in the Chopin Grand Polonaise, and I believe I've done an arpeggios video on YouTube that discusses this one. Sorry. Super sloppy. I haven't played it for years. That's a tough one because it's going back and forth. The concepts I present today, though, will certainly help you with an example like that, but I want to use Tchaikovsky Concerto No. 1, the famous... because I just performed this last weekend. And I'll be posting a video on YouTube soon about my new performance regimen the day of the performance, because I learned about half of this and memorized it about half of it like 2 or 3 years ago. Must have been at least 3 or 4 years ago, actually, at Michigan. And then the conductor said, "Do you want to play on May 22nd at the end of April?" I said, "Sure." Or like 2 weeks into April, he asked me that. And then a week later, like third week of April, he said, "Oh, we're actually doing a performance on May 6th. And I was like, "Oh, crap." So I had to learn and memorize about half of the concerto, which was brand new for me, and relearn and rememorize the rest of it. And it's a long first movement. It's almost 20 minutes long. It's 48 pages. So I'm going to do a little segment on that for everybody on YouTube as well as you guys. But I wanted today to share some of the secrets that I use to practice arpeggios. And this will expound even more than stuff I've presented previously. So the first thing is I want to talk about form with arpeggios. Let's just go over some basic form issues. Arpeggios are different from scales in the sense that it's more spread out. So with that piece of information, you have to realize that scales, you can use micro movements, but like when you're doing cross unders, like you might move your wrist a little bit and then tuck your thumb under a little. I don't believe in the school of thought that says you should have no thumb under. If you're of that school of thought, cool, but I completely disagree with it personally. It's impractical and pretty useless, to be completely honest, in the sense that it's impractical when you're going to actually play pieces. Maybe it's good when you're just studying scales. When you're doing arpeggios, you certainly need thumb under and you need a lot of flexibility. Scales train you with agility, speed, precision, tight little movements, like not tight like, tension tight, but like tight as in like precision, like lining things up perfectly. Arpeggios they still have alignment issues, but they're much more based on flexibility. So we're going to focus on that today. So just taking one hand at a time, I always want you to maintain pretty curved fingers, except when you're on black key scales, or arpeggios. So like if you're doing E flat major, you can actually flatten the finger a bit. I don't ever like to collapse the joint to where it's concave like that. I like it to be out or at least flat, okay? But I never like it to be concave where it collapses in. That's terrible. The reason it's terrible, by the way, I try to expound a lot more on these videos than just my normal YouTube videos because you guys are paid members. I appreciate your support. I love doing these videos. Is you don't do them because it takes time to collapse. And when it takes time to collapse, it causes unevenness. So that's why. If anyone's like, no, it's more comfortable to collapse, it's not good in the long run. Having said that, let's go through a basic C major arpeggio, and then we're going to go into Tchaikovsky. That part. Okay, so C major. Thank you so much for watching. I've listed 2 links in the description below. One of them is to download this full video that you've just watched the sample for. The other is to view the entire library of VIP MasterClass series videos. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.